servicer of the immediate contact. So talk about how you service today's online consumer as a team member.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we're not, I guess this is before my time, we're not gatekeepers of this information anymore, right? People can come online and learn everything. I mean, how many times have you ran into a client that's like, saw this house sold 6 years ago for this, and now it's sold for this, and I think it's worth this and this, because they know everything already. So our role has totally changed, and now we are there basically as, like you said, the interpreter of that data, and also we're marketers. You know, that's what we do, especially with listings. We have to. It's not good enough anymore to put the house in the newspaper and let it sell. You have to know what a Matterport camera is and the 3D tour, and know what a drone is and how it affects everything. And so we've really changed from I mean, this is before my time. I mean, did anybody have an MLS book? You know, where all the MLS listings were? That's not the case anymore. So now we have to take that data, interpret it, explain it back to them, and really teach them how to market the listing.
It was pretty funny. I was using this example of WebMD. When we all are on WebMD and we're sort of self-diagnosing, and we go to the doctor and they're telling us that that's not what you thought. Right? It's different. You needed to come to talk to me. And I was telling Jason this morning. He looked at me and goes, "You know, I used to write for Inman, and I wrote that in an Inman article." And I'm like, well, maybe that's where I got it. Same analogy, same principle, same concept. I can really individual agent perspective, because a lot of folks here are probably individual agents. There's a whole work-life balance. These consumers are on 24/7. If you choose to advertise and you're getting these leads at all hours, days, nights, like what do you do? How do you service the consumer?
Well, they expect instant gratification, and I couldn't do it without the concierge program. I mean, it makes it so that I don't have to feel guilty every time I can't pick up my phone, but I do pick up my phone almost every time it rings. That is key. Even if you can't talk, just say, "I gotcha, I should be done in 10 minutes, I'll call you back."
And what happens when these leads come in, after hours for you, whatever after hours is for you? It could be 8 o'clock, it could be 2 in the morning. What happens? What's your process, and what do you use a specific technology to help?
Each lead that comes in automatically gets my Zillow Premier Agent video delivered to them via BombBomb, and I can tell if they open it or not, and then I can tell how long they watched it. So somebody that opens it and watches the whole thing is obviously a better chance of conversion than somebody who, just clicked on a house and really isn't interested. And then if I'm going to be 100% truthful, I cherry pick. And, if someone, wants to know information on a house that is a for sale by owner and it's been on the market for 6 months and it's completely unrealistic and, opposed to somebody who wants to see a $1.2 million condo in the morning, I mean, you treat them differently.
Okay. Hedda, do you still write contracts? Do you still, as the broker?
Yes, well, I'm not a broker.
You're
yeah.
owner of the company.
My husband is, I just own it. And yes, I'm still practicing owner, and yes, I do. And what I have done this year, 95%, I'd say 97% of my paid leads, I give it away to all of my agents. The other 3% are the ones that's calling me, and that's the only one that I'm basically taking care of.
Okay.
They're specific.
So what, I guess from your company standpoint right now, and you've owned Palisades for how many years?
4 years.
How has it changed from consumer expectations 4 years ago until consumer expectations today, and what trends have you seen?
I was just telling Marissa this yesterday that 4 years ago, that's when I also started, or 5 years ago, I started buying leads with Trulia. The consumers didn't get a choice. I picked the properties that I wanted to show them. So, they don't even know what they're going to see. And this time, they're telling me what they want to see. And my job becomes, it's about, negotiation, making sure that the terms that they wanted is what they got. Making sure that they're not in risk and, just more of the behind the scene. And once it's reduced into a transaction, that's when I think, that's basically when my value comes in.
Okay, Mary, would you agree with that? And so if the consumers are constantly bringing you all the properties that they're interested in, they feel like they're doing the research part of it, all of a sudden the role of the agents changed, so how do you keep the value up high?
And that's that local market knowledge. We're not real estate Uber and we're not tour guides. So, you do have those that call in that, oh, I only want to talk to the listing agent, or can you just open that house for me, pick me up at the airport, right, Randy? And take me to see this house, and oh, by the way, I have an agent. So I think sometimes the consumer misunderstands that the Zillow lead is coming to an actual boots on the ground practicing agent, and that this is our time and value that we bring to them. And so there's a little bit of education sometimes that has to happen on the front end. Also, with millennials becoming such a big part of our home buying process here in San Diego County, the role of the real estate agent, and that we don't work for Zillow, also comes into play, that they've been connected to a live agent, whether that is a seller or a buyer.
Okay. It's a good topic. Thank you all. Jason, I'm going to change the topic slightly, and then we can take questions in a minute. Topic is branding. And I wanted to talk about, because it's so difficult to know where to put yourselves and how to leverage social media, your own website, whatever, like your Zillow profile, like how in today's world, holistically, can an agent or a team lead or a brokerage, how can you in a sophisticated fashion, promote yourself across all platforms, and maybe how do you all do that?
We have a theory that you have to be where the eyes are, right? That's just a marketing cliche. And so the eyes, and I mentioned it before, back in the past we're on radio and now TV and now it's online. So your online presence is everything. And now, what percentage of money is spent there? If you're in Coronado, you need to be going to the Rotary meetings and connected in that community. But if you're in downtown, the majority of your client base is coming in online and they're checking your reviews and profiles and things like that. So you need to realize what your market is, and you have to be where those eyes are. And I kind of take the approach of I'm everywhere. So if you can't do that, if you can't actively be everywhere, do a couple things that you're really, really good at. Don't try to be everywhere and just leave things hanging. But that's my approach: is be everywhere that the eyes are and do it well.
Okay.
And that includes social, by the way.
We include social.
Yeah,
while we're talking about social, do you have like a social? I mentioned we have 3 million followers, and we have a cadence on how often we're going to hit our database of consumers. Do you guys do the same?
We do. I don't schedule anything. There's lots of people talk about Buffer and Hootsuite and things like that. I do it all. Again, I grew up with it, so I'm already integrated in it a little bit. So if you're not, maybe have someone on your team that realizes how to get in there and get in the trenches. But just being everywhere, it's more of a personal touch. I've personally closed deals from Twitter this year, being in the trenches, talking to people and doing it correctly. So you have to kind of be everywhere and do it well. And if you can't do it, make sure you have someone on your team that kind of understands the platform.
Kimberly?
I dabble in social media. I'm there, but I don't have a super strong presence. I do